Hi, and welcome back. I know I'm a little bit late with this video. I had good intentions. I was going to take a short clip every day of my piece for the day of my manic mania for me, because this is a very busy time of year. And I do a starting and a stopping point and maybe talk a little bit about the piece and how I was feeling. Yeah, not so much. I did get a couple of pictures up on Instagram, but I looked at the clips that I did manage to record and I couldn't figure out how to put them together. So my hat is off to Dina, Half Stitch, Cross Stitch, and people who can vlog, because I'm quickly coming to realize that vlogging is not my style. I wish it was. So I thought that I would just go over my 18 days of mania. I didn't get a lot of stitching done. For the most part, I got to stitch every day, except one day, and we'll talk about that when I get to it. I hope that you've been having a great May. It's been a really good May here, for the most part. No bad news. My dad did go into a nursing home, which was, a little sad, but overall, if it gives him a better quality of life, then it's all good. But one good thing is I did buy myself a new car this month. I just picked it up yesterday. It's another Honda. I've bought Hondas for, I think my last 7 cars have been Hondas. And this one is an HRV, which is a new model for Honda, or I think it's the newest model, maybe. It's really cool, and it's a dark metallic green, which sold me almost automatically. But I really like it. I only drove it a little bit, but it doesn't have the side panel sensors that a lot of new cars have. But that's Wally, the jingling. Somebody always asks me about the jingling in my videos. Wally is a tag happy dog, and he jingles a lot. Anyway, one of the cool features, I guess, of my car is that it has a right turn camera angle off the mirror, and it projects video of what's going on and my blind spot on my right side into the screen on the dashboard. That's pretty cool. And they've said the backup camera actually moves with you now. It's not a stationary camera, which, I don't know, I always forget to look there anyway. I have a feeling even with the right turn signal, I'll forget to look there. But anyway, they're on the car. Yeah. Something else to break and have to fix. Thank God, knock wood, that hasn't happened to me. Anyway, you're not here for me talking about my car or about Wally. You're here for what have I been stitching. I'm afraid it might be a little disappointing, but I'll just recap that I had 9 new starts. I was working on 4 Mania whips from last Mania, and last year's Mania, 2017, was my first Mania. And then 5 whips that I said were from another mother. And for the most part, I did good. Let's see. Let me find the beginning. So on May 1st, with the start of Mania, thank you, Wally, I started by working on Heaven and Earth design. And it's Marching Mice, and it has no background, and it's by Scott Gustafson. And I'm not doing the whole piece. I was just going to start with this little trumpeter mouse, Theodore. Theodore's my name for that mouse. And I'm doing it on Bluebird. It's an 18 count Ada by Color and Cotton, and I love it. I think it's gorgeous. I didn't get a whole lot done. I seem to have been struggling with stitching this month. I feel like for as much as I put in, I've had to reverse as much back out. Not good. Anyway, let's see. I think this is the top. Excuse the hanging threads. Let's see. This is his nose right here, this little bit of tan. So if you look at Theodore there, right here, I got his little nose in, and then that's the start of his hat, I think, is this blue part. I'm really enjoying it. It's going to be a fun little mouse to stitch. Look forward to getting back to him. Color and Cotton. Angela has got great colors. I absolutely love it. I've actually put my subscriptions on hold because I'm finding that I've got so many projects now that I'm kind of piling up stash in all manners of things, not just stitching, and it's time for me to, and I laugh because you know what that means. Yeah, it's time to back off a little. I'll put him over here. Okay, and then day 2, May 2nd, was Percy Pig. Let me see if I can find Percy. Yep. And that's a Mill Hill kit by Jim Shore. And that was Percy Pig. And this is a whip from last year. And all I had done on Percy was that little yellow bit in the center of the design on his back. And I had thought about restarting it and using something other than the perforated paper. But then I decided I like the perforated paper, so we're just going to go with it. And that's where I got with Percy Pig. Nice bright colors. The perforated paper, it looks kind of white here, but it's actually a really pale yellow. It's really pretty and not a hard stitch at all. And I'm enjoying it. So Percy Pig was day 2. I'm going to have to keep leaning over to put stuff down. I'm sorry. Let's see. So day 3, Cardinal in a Pocket. Now, Cardinal in a Pocket was my first time experimenting with that vinyl cloth rather than the plastic canvas that it called for. So it's a Stony Creek pattern, and it's Cardinal in a Pocket, and that's what it looks like. And this is where I got with it, and I really like it. And this is actually vinyl. It's not plastic canvas, and it's not Aida or even weave. It's a vinyl. And I don't know, yeah, it's going to focus pretty good. You can see what it looks like close up. And I think backing, after I back it, it'll make a really nice ornament. And it's thin and flexible enough that you probably could frame it if you wanted to. So that's Cardinal in a Pocket. And I started that on May 3rd. It was a new start for this year's Mania. And I'm putting it all away because if I don't put it away, I will have another big mess. Okay, so day 4, I have some notes down here. Day 4, I stitched on, oh, that was May the 4th be with you. That was Star Wars Day. And I don't have a picture for that, but it's from Stitchline on Etsy. And I'm doing it on a 14 count blue Aida that I over-dyed some more with more blues. And it's BB8. And I started this in last year's Mania also. So this was one of my whips from last year. And I got a little bit done on him, so that was good. And I even started putting in some of the blended threads. And I think he's going to look really cute. Let's see, get a little bit of a close-up on him. There's a lot of shading going on with grays and different color whites. And there's blended threads in there. And some of the oranges are blended also. So it's a really interesting piece to stitch, and I think it's going to look really cool. So that was baby 8. May the 4th be with you, and day 4 of Stitch Mania. And then May 5th was, I worked on the Wizard from Haid, and it was also full coverage on the 5th. So that was perfect opportunity to work on my Wizard. Now, that's artwork by Ciro Marchetti, and that's what it looks like. I really love him. I think he's so dark and brooding. And I don't know if you noticed, but there's the bluebird up here, but there's an owl down here, and a dagger, and books, and it's just really cool. I like it. Let me see, I've got a piece of paper over here. Let's see if I can put something behind this one. And this is being done on 18 count Magic Guide. And I had, I think, let me see. There go all my projects. Oh, I had about 1.5 pages done, and this is where I didn't get much stitching done on this day, because all I did is I had a hanging thread over here, and I worked it down, and then I put a little bit more of the same color in. But as you can see here, I was doing this in a rather more organized method, and it was part of a Haid challenge. I think it was the 4th quarter Haid challenge last year. So that was pretty cool. But it's, let me check. That was a whip from another mother. So that was the Haid challenge whip. So the Haid challenge was its mother. And he's a lot of fun. I really enjoy working on him. Excuse me while I pick my stuff back up. Okay. Moving right along. Day 6 was a new start. And it was also, this new start was for the Just Cross Stitch ornament sale that's for May. And a lot of my stitches for this mania did double duty. And it was supposed to be, I know I did a wild card for May, and I haven't shared any of this online, so you'll be the first one seeing it. And it's a Just Cross Stitch Along, and it's a closed group on Facebook, so you can ask to join it. But it's an ornament sale where they do an ornament a month, and let me see if I can find it. It was supposed to be, I'll show you the ornament that they had scheduled for May. And I elected to do one of their wild cards because it's not mandatory. They do give you options. And the one that they had chose for this month was this one, which I think is very pretty. I really like it. But the one that I chose to do is Welcome King. And it's like this pineapple one, which is also really pretty. I have stuff falling everywhere. Hopefully not the piece I worked on. And this, let's see if I can find it. There he is. I did him on, I think this is 18 count per opalescent Ada, and it's actually a finish. I started it and finished it the same day, and I felt so proud of myself. I did change the colors, and I did put in beads where the crown is, and I used some I believe that was, let's see, that was not Krynic. I use so little of it. I don't know, can't think of it. If I think of it, I'll mark it here. But I think that looks really pretty and is going to make a really pretty ornament. So that was my one finish for Maynia. A start and a finish. Proud of myself. Finally. The good news is that's not my first finish this year, so. Okay. Then on the 7th was another new start, and it was the Buzzing Around Biscornu. And this is a freebie that was provided by cyberstitchers.com, and it's a Barbara Anna pattern. And I will show it to you quickly because it's a freebie. And it does give the colors. I'm not sure I went with all their colors. I might have, but I got the border done on the front piece. And it's really pretty, and it's really tiny. Poor arthritic finger. So it is a tiny one. And the other part I'll put over here. And the way this, it doesn't really have a different pattern for the back piece. It just has the bees. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to look for a flower pattern for here and do smaller bees around the center for the other side. And those are the colors. Very pretty. So. Then, so that was day 7. On day 8, it was Lady Alexandra. And this is a whip from last year's Maynia. I started it. Today is my daughter Alexandria's 42nd birthday. Happy birthday, Alex. And this is the cross stitch that I started for her last year. It's a Mira, and it's Lady Alexandra. And that's just beautiful, isn't it? So I'm doing this on Exotic Orchid, and it's a Lugana. And I'm using the same for all of my children. And I'm not sure which way is. Oh, let me find the picture. I think it goes like that. It's really beautiful. I really like it. I only had a little bit of the black done, and I thought I'd made a mistake, but when I went back and counted, I was fine. So that's how far I've gotten. I've gotten into some of the blue in the bow in the back of her dress. Very pretty. So that is Lady Alexandra. And then day 9 was one of my favorite whips. As soon as I find it. I've had this out. Oh, there it is. Can you guess which one it is? It's not my cat. It's not a cat. I'm just looking for the picture I can show you. There it is. It's Dragons of Sumatra by Ink Circles. And this is a whip from another mother. And I did some good stitching on this one too. I had a hard time putting it down. I did some more Under the Dragons. I don't know if I can get this all in here. Yeah, I guess so. I did some more Under the Dragons. And it's coming along really well. I've gone all the way across on both sides, so it's as wide as it gets. And I'm working my way down. It's a lot of fun. I would highly recommend it. And it's on an 18 count Aida that I dyed myself. And it's nice and soft. I can't say enough nice things about soft Aida. And it gets there if you work with it too. I almost put my notes in that bag. That would be bad. So that was day 9, and we're halfway there. Day 10 is Hometown Holidays, number 2, which is the Main Street Station. I'm doing these individually on 25 count Stormy Clouds Lugana. And I had some of the front of the house stitched, or the station stitched, and I didn't get a lot done here either. Story of my life. I did get more of the ecru in the front of the station done. But there's more up here in the roof, and there's a lot of ecru in this picture. And I'm not using ecru, I'm using coloring cotton. I think it's, what's it called? Fresh wool. And I've got it kind of wrapped around the card, but that's what that looks like, fresh wool. It's a very pretty color. I am considering doing the snow in this pattern in a different color because I don't really want to do it in ecru, and the snow is the same color. Which is fine with the prim look that the original pattern or designer ethic that the, you know, that was intended. Just as usual, I am marching to my own drummer. And let's see, day 11 was the Prairie Schooler Santa 2011. And it is the Santa with the snowshoes and the cardinal. Both things have strong memories for me because my husband bought me a pair of snowshoes and we all love cardinals. And I said I was going to do it on the Davos. I'm not going to do it on Davos. I started it on the oatmeal, on a piece of oatmeal Aida, and that's as far as I've gotten. And I think that's the right way. Although I could be wrong. That might be the top. I don't know. I have no idea. No, that's the top. I think those are his legs on the bottom. Anyway. Prairie Schooler Santa by Prairie Schooler. The other one that I did and I finished was the North Pole Santa with the polar bear. He was the 2017 Santa. Okay, so day 12. This I was looking forward to doing because it's another Prairie Schooler. It's the Barnyard Christmas, and can you guess which one I started with? Yes, I started with the cat. And I'm just doing him on an even weave. And I'm doing it 2/2. I think it's mushroom. And that's as far as I've gotten with the cat. But he's a lot of fun, and I'm enjoying it. Let's see. Next, what is day 13, and it is also dark stitching. So 13th for dark stitching, I pulled out another whip that was from the October, was it 13 for Halloween, that I started in October. So it's a whip from another mother. And that's what that one looks like. And I am using 42-45 to stitch it. And it's on a piece of, I don't know, 14 count maybe. Gonna have to excuse this little hanging thread. I got a little ways on that. I got most of the haunted tree in at the bottom, and you can see there's a ghost coming in. So not too bad. Also a fun stitch, one I enjoy working on. It's kind of overcast here today. It looks like it's going to rain. Sorry, camera quit. Not sure exactly when. I was saying it's an overcast day here, and I've been working outside in my gardens and things and mowing grass, which is a never-ending feat for me in the summer. So at least today I don't have to worry about that, which is good. And that was, so now we've got day 14, which is a new start for this Maynia, and it is letters from Nora, and it's the letter H. This is one where I stitched, and I stitched, and I stitched, and then I unstitched, and unstitched, and unstitched, and unstitched a little more. So I had a little bit frustrated with letters from Nora. I did buy all the floss for this one. So I have all the floss, and I did it on this piece of green 14 count Aida that I did my vinegar and oil dyeing on, which I really like. And that's how far I got with that. I got all the way across the H, and I got most of the fairy put back in. Notice I said put back in. Frustrating. Very frustrating. Not a hard stitch. Just me. I think that was kind of the story of my life. I think it happened with most of my stitches this month. Put some in, take some out. Put some in, take some out. Put a lot in, take a lot out. Oh well. And then I worked on His Name is Jesus. Also another beautiful stitch that I really enjoy working on. This is from Joyful Expressions. And I think she has her own website. And this was, let me see. Trying to see if I started this in Maynia last year. I usually mark on the bag. I'm not sure. Oh, this is a whip from another mother. Okay. Let me get the picture out so you can see it. I'm sure you've seen it before. Lots of people have done this one. It is this one. And she shows it in a pink colorway too. Reddish pink. Of course, I'm my own drummer. And this is, I'm not even sure what this is, what material. And I know I probably wrote it down somewhere, but can't get my hands on it. I did some good stitching on this one. I got, let's see, I did Emmanuel, Savior, Alpha, Omega, Jehovah. I'm not sure if I got other ones or not, but, and I'm only giving these, only gave these each one day, but it's a pretty good size stitch that I'm using different colors, and it's coming out really beautiful. And I'm actually thinking about putting some gold in there too. I haven't done any gold yet though. So far, so good. The variegated floss color that I'm using is $42.12. Well, if I show it to you, that would be good. $42.12. It's kind of purples and maroons. It's really pretty. And then the red I'm using is $4.98, which is the same red that I'm using in Dragons of Sumatra. And then the blue I'm using is $8.30, which is a really pretty blue. Oh, that's too much, isn't it? I just realized my light was off, and I'm not sure when that happened. There we go. That's better. That's what you needed to see, right? Oh, well. I've been trying to get my room organized, and right now I've got bringing stuff up into it, but I haven't really got it set up to where it's usable. Like I can sit and color, I could sit and stitch, I do, but I want to get back into my clay too, and I really need to open up a good sturdy space for that. I need sturdy when you're working with clay. Let's see. So then day 16, we're getting there, is what's she up to now? This one I have to say I was ready to throw across the room. What's she up to now? This is one where I stitched and I stitched and I stitched and I stitched and I took out and I took out and I took out and I took out. And then I said, no, I'm done. But this is what it looks like, and I really love it. You know, woman, kind of outrageous woman with her little dog. And it says, you know, when I am old, I want people thinking, oh my, OMG, what's she up to now? Perfect, right? Okay. For me, perfect. And I'm doing it on this vinyl cloth, which is wonderful. And this is the stitching that I got done. Actually, I got about 5 times that much stitching done, and then realized that it was in the wrong direction. So I ripped it out. And right now it's looking like I may have to just take it all out and start over. Story of my life. Okay, day 17. Day 17 was Michael. Day 17, I did not stitch. Not one stitch. After the day I'd had before where I ripped it all out anyway, I was busy. I had a lot I had to do and I wasn't home. So by that night, I was just too tired. I knew if I put anything in, I'd have to rip it out. And he's a Mira, and he's beautiful, and I didn't want to ruin him. I didn't want to have to unstitch him. So I skipped him. I will try to get to him before the month is out. But in reality, I want to get back to Lady Alexandra too, because this is my daughter's birth month. And I'm not sure which way is up, so I'm just going to show it to you like this, because I think that's his sleeve coming around like this. So, whichever way it goes, that's it. And he is gorgeous. And he's also on the Exotic Orchid. And I'm also working on Ella for my other daughter, and it's also on the Exotic Orchid, Lugana. Petite treasure braid. That's what I was trying to think of for the Christmas ornament. I use petite treasure braid. Braid, no function. Okay, and last, but certainly not least, my obsession with these ink circle Sumatra patterns knows no bounds. I started Forests of Sumatra by Ink Circles to go along with my Dragons of Sumatra. And so yesterday, before I left to pick my car up, I dyed some 18 count Ada, and it's lighter. Let's see if I can get back to my Dragons of Sumatra without too much pain. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so I wanted it to be lighter than Dragons. So here's the fabric that I dyed for Dragons, and here's the fabric. Well, that's the back side. This is the fabric that I dyed for Forests. So it is a different color fabric. And this is, I worked on this last night. I have a pin just showing me the top because that's been my luck lately. Take the needle out. So I know that bothers a lot of people, but I'm old school. So that's the, yeah, that's the top left corner. And you saw by the picture that Forest of Sumatra is also is shown as a single colored Quaker sampler. But I'm doing it in my own color wave. And the colors aren't, the red is the same as the red that I'm using in Dragons. But the green, I was using, I think, 94 in DMC for Dragons. And I'm using please hold. I'm using 4066, which is one of the new variations in DMC. I'm using the same red. I'm using that different green, and then I'm putting in 728, which is a gold color. And that makes up this cross stitch. And I'm going to put beads and sequins and stuff on this one too, I think. But I'm really liking it. I'm going to try not to put much red in. The red's definitely going to be a highlight type of color. I would like it to be mostly green because it is the Forest of Sumatra. And my premise for that is, I'm not sure, I think there's like one little tiny dragon in this chart. Well, there's one in the center, and there might be a few hidden in there. And I may do them in a solid green like I did the dragons in Dragons of Sumatra. But the idea is you can't, is that adage, you can't see the forest for the trees. It's kind of, sometimes it's so overwhelming that you can't see what's right before your face, right before your eyes. So I'm going to really enjoy working on this, and I'm really liking the colors. So, and it's enough different from dragons that, and there is yellow in my fabric for dragons. It's just not the primary color. So I think that they will work well together. And they're enough different, even the borders are enough different, that it should really be fun to stitch, even though there's 2 of them. And that was all the stitching that I did. The previous video I put up was a coloring video. Actually, it's a mixed media. It's just using a coloring book. And I'm having a lot of fun with that. I plan to make a couple more journals. I have to go check out Junk Journal Junkies and see if there's any active swaps that I might want to participate in. I also have my Christmas journal that I want to get back to, and my Wizard of Oz journal. I have lots of things that are in progress. Oh, and I took some things to show to the woman she and her partner are going to open the co-op, the craft co-op. And she loved the scissor fobs and the things that I showed her. And I showed them Grandfather Cloudwalker and my White Rabbit and a few other things. And they were very excited. So I'm hoping that that comes to fruition. So a lot of things that I've purchased recently have been to work with clay and some other crafty things that I can alter and sell. So, yeah, that's about it for me. In a nutshell, I have no immediate plans other than to continue. I took some wallpaper down in my living room, so I've got a bunch of projects going. And once the weather looks like we're going to have clear weather for a while, I have to power wash and scrape and paint my deck. And then I have to wash windows outside. So just like everybody else, it never ends. But I'm looking forward to a good summer. And I hope you are too. And for our sisters and brothers in opposing hemispheres, I hope that you have really lovely winters, that you enjoy the cooler climate. So, that all being said, I hope that you have a lovely rest of May, that your days are bright and sunny, and your nights are peaceful and easy. And remember, be kind and be courageous. And always be colorful. Thanks for watching. Until the next time, God bless.